Welcome back to Stats with Dr. Platt, and we're going to be continuing to look at our frequency distributions. So in the last video segment, we were looking at how to create our 7-frequency table. We have a set of 32 values ranging from 3 to 44. With a class width of 6, our class midpoint is found by adding together either the lower class limit and the upper class limit, or the upper bound and lower bound, and then dividing by 2. So 3 plus 8 is 11 divided by 2 gives us a class midpoint of 5.5. Our class midpoints are going to increase by our class width, but we want to just double check that. 9 plus 14 is 23, divided by 2 is 11.5. So we have our 6 class midpoints, which we're going to be using for a number of things. So what we want to do to find our frequency is, in this case, we have our data nice and organized into a list that is ordered from least to greatest. And in our lowest class, we're looking for anything that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. Any of the 6 numbers between 3 and 8 inclusive. So we have 3 values that are in that range. So these 3 are in our lowest class. Between 9 and 14, 1, 2, 3, we also have 3 values between 9 and 14. Between 15 and 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 values between 15 and 20. Between 21 and 26, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another group of 10 that fall between 21 and 26. 27 through 32. 1, 2, 3. 33 through 38. We have 2. And we have 1 value in our uppermost class. So we have our frequencies 3, 3, 10, 10, 3, 2, 1. And we have a number of ways we can handle our frequencies. In certain cases, we're interested in the frequency directly, but other times we're much more interested in our relative frequency. And since we have 32 data entries, the relative frequency of scores between 3 and 8 that week was 3 out of 32. I unfortunately need to use the decimal, but let me try something different. 10 out of 32, 10 out of 32, 3 of 32, 2 of 32, and 1 of 32. we can have the computer do our computations for us by using the formula E equals G2, the location of the frequency of class A, divided by 32. And we can highlight down our list. Control down will fill in the appropriate formula in this column. Okay. We can tell the computer how to do or find the frequency based on the list of values, but it involves a series of count ifs, and for most data sets, it's probably just as easy for us to compute by hand. But I might show you that in another more advanced example. The relative frequency is often as, if not more important than the absolute frequency, because if you're looking at the amount of sales being done for a particular store, the proprietor might be interested that 15 shirts of a particular size were sold, but there might be more interested in, of the total amount of sales, 25% were that size or that style, which would guide purchasing decisions more than otherwise. Another important element is our cumulative frequency. And our cumulative frequency is sometimes a little bit tricky. The cumulative frequency of our smallest set is only the value of the frequency for that set, because we're looking for the value that are in that set and any that are below it or contain values smaller than the maximum upper limit in the group. So we have 3 here. Our cumulative frequency for our maximum class, our class that runs from 39 to 44, will involve every value 44 or less in our data set. So it would be 32 values. As we go, so we got that by adding the frequencies in our lowest class, the class next larger, next larger, next larger, next larger, next larger, next larger. So again, starting from our first class, we go up to our next larger class, and we're asking how many data values are 14 or less. And there would be 6, because we have frequencies of 3 and 3. Add up to 6. 20 or less, 10 plus 3 plus 3, or 16. 26 or less, 10 plus 10 plus 3 plus 3, or 10 plus 16 is 26. Less than 32 is 3 more than less than 26, which is 26. So we're adding 3 more, so this is 29. 31, because we have this frequency and then some. So we can move things over. Okay. Equals F2. Yep. That isn't what I want. Sorry. Equals G2 equals K2 plus G3 So we have the total we've obtained so far, plus the value contributed by the row that we're cumulative frequencying up to. Then we're referring to the amount that we had previously, plus the contribution to our increasing total made by this group. And then we can drag this down, and we fill in as usual. So we have our relative frequency is the fraction or the decimal, or we could use the percent of values that are within the class out of the total values. And our cumulative frequency is our number of values that are at or below the upper class limit for that particular class. I'll show you how to make graphs of our frequencies, relative frequencies, and cumulative frequencies in our next episode.